This is F121. This is the mainstream racing series. This is race number 2 from 23 from Baku, Azerbaijan. I'm Sir Bauer. Glad you're with us tonight for what should be an interesting and maybe a bit chaotic race here in Baku. I remember all the races in Baku from MIS have been extra exciting. MIS is always exciting, but in Baku it had been really cool. And this could be a very long event, so Baku is a long track. Let's have a look at the track as we are already talking about it. This is it. So a rather long track, 6 kilometers. I think the second or third longest track in the whole calendar. Track difficulty very hard, and that is so true. 20 turns. We have sector at the end. Actually, sector 3 and sector 1 are pretty good overtake spots. A lot of DI zones there. While sector 2 is more or less like Monaco, just turn after turn after turn, very narrow, very tight, and the walls are close. There is no gravel pit, there is not such a thing as a little bit of grass. It's just walls and walls and walls. These are the assists that are selectable, so medium traction control. Gearbox can be automatic, but I think no one uses it. And pit assists both are off. And let's have a short look about our drivers here tonight. We should have an almost full grid. I think we are now at 17. I thought we would have 18, but it's more or less the same. So almost a full grid. And let's browse through a bit. The Dominic Walsh is already in. Yes, his brother is here as well. And where is he? Still trying to adopt to all the new names. Yes, Monster, Jeppe Nielsen in the Red Bull. He was, it was maybe a little bit of a shock how impressive he won the race, the season opener in Interlagos last week. Not the slightest mistake. Racing to the pole, racing to the victory. Very impressive what he did. And the interesting fact, from the top 6, just 2 drivers were familiar MIS drivers. The other 4 were all newcomers. One other thing that was interesting was both the Alfa Romeos, Rockstar, that is Mirko Caruso, and his teammate Ash Ryder, the Trilla Gorilla. He's inactive tonight. Trilla Gorilla sadly not here, because both the Alfa Romeos had an interesting race. They started very close to each other. They finished very close to each other, but the Gorilla was the slower one, Rockstar Caruso the faster one, but Caruso had 2 spins, and therefore, although he was faster than his teammate, he finished just as close to him in the end as they started. So we are a few minutes late. I will look into our background chat and try to see if anything of importance is going on. So we are delayed by 5 minutes, an additional 2 minutes roundabout to get everyone into the session who wants to participate. I think it's about Gregory Mortier who will be late. Gregory Mortier FX Chef, one of the newer additions to MIS. Yeah, anyway, we are still very young, very early in the new season, still very early in the new game as well. And although we are racing, or we can race for around about 5 or 6 weeks now in the new game, it is still, everything quite new. So there is still a lot of unknown stuff, unknown game performances maybe, and especially on such a close track where we are so close to the walls. This will be quite a hard learning curve maybe tonight, and we will see how it all comes down eventually. It is we are very, very soon to our session start. And there the timer started to tick down. 18 minutes qualifying, then followed by a 26 laps race. Equal car performances, of course. Dynamic weather, that can be a topic, can be in Baku, doesn't have to be. But if it's rainy in Baku, then the chaos factor is a lot higher. So here's the first pictures of this lovely city on the Black Sea, mixture of modern and old buildings, similar to Singapore maybe a little bit, at least a mixture of walls and modern and old buildings. And here we are in the pit lane. Weather looks quite okay. Not the best weather. Not sunny. It looks overcast, but that's okay for most of the drivers, I would like to suggest. And Trilla Gorilla made it. The second Alfa Romeo, Trilla Gorilla Ash Rider. He made it. I missed him earlier, but here he is in the grid. And what we see there, unique way out of the pit lane for Mr. G. Silky Greg Silcock, who I think missed our season opener last week. If I am right, then welcome to MIS now in the second race. In the Russian Haas, he looks a bit slidey here on his outlap. On the outlap it's not a problem. Let's just stay with him, as I always tend to stay with the first driver who's out. This turn, what is it, turn 8 or 10 or something, one of the hardest, I think it's turn 8, one of the hardest turns in the whole race, Canada, the narrowest place. But we will see that on his hot lap then out of the cockpit view a lot more clearly, how damn close it really is. And then from here onwards, it is actually just pedal to the metal, maybe a little bit of a lift right here, depending on the setup, downforce setup used. And then this is the longest straight in the whole season. 2.5 kilometers, just flat out racing, flat out pedal to the metal. This is longer, or almost longer than the whole Monaco track. And here we are now in the first sector. First sector is just, you could say, once around the block. A whole lot of 90-degree turns. This is another DRS zone here. First real DRS zone per lap. 90 degree and another 90 degree. And then we will reach the end of sector 1 here. And then we go into the narrow middle sector. Oh, maybe a little bit too much curb there for Silcock. This is now the intermediate sector with those narrow turns. Getting narrower and narrower and even narrower until we reach here turn 8 and 9. The narrowest part of the whole season. Oh, oof, that was close. So this lap will probably not be a good one, just a safety lap to have one lap time posted no matter what comes. And this is the end of sector 3. And from here onwards, I mentioned it, just flat out, straight ahead. Let's listen. A little bit of lift, oh, and a little bit of touch there. So maybe he should have lifted a bit more. But it looks like he will drive the lap to the end. And this will not be a good lap time, but at least he has posted one. 1:42.9. So in case someone of the grid will not post a hot lap time, will not be able to, Silcock will at least not be last. Mike Taylor in the Aston Martin, already a lot faster. 3.3 seconds, Taylor was faster. Bilton Matt, that is Matt Snead. He missed the season opener 2 last week. Welcome back to MIS, Mr. Snead. He is 2.5 seconds behind Taylor. That is a lot. Well, mediums. So not a competitive lap time, but at least he has one posted. Thomas Walsh, teammate of Taylor in the other Aston Martin. The new pole setter, Navy Kitchen 3, so a lot of times incoming here right now. Let's have a look what he is doing. Mr. Torpedo Check, Siminksna, welcome back. He is, as far as I know, one of our reserve drivers. Former regular driver, stepping back a little bit, but tonight he is with us. That is cool. Cool to have him back for tonight. Yeah, and times incoming now. The other Walsh, the leader. This is Dominic Walsh ahead of his brother Thomas Walsh. Then in third, the other Mercedes. That is still need to look it up with all these new names. Dillian Chapman in third. Peter Simpson only in fourth right now, our pole king and reigning champion, half a second behind the season 1 champion Dominic Walsh. Let's have a look what Rognan is doing here. You cannot win anything here in the last sector. You can just lose time on the long straight. Waiting so long till the clock finally stops. And wow, he's second. Up into second. 53 thousandths behind Dominic Walsh. There's one driver on mediums running. This is RP Lai, Iggy Lai. He's at the end of sector 2 here. Let's see what he can do on the yellow tire. The other times on mediums from Matt Snead were not really competitive. Let's see if he can do better. While some Red Bull is seeking slipstream, got to be monster. Jeppe Nielsen behind him. That could be an advantage for Nielsen. Oh no. Lie into the pits. Does not run it to the end. And there was the slipstream advantage. Jeppe Nielsen, new pole setter. 2.5 tenths faster than Dominic Walsh. Not only because of the slipstream, but that potentially could have been advantageous for him. We have an opossum with us. What a cute name. CP2 opossum. He is... This is Kiolauwik. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. My Dutch neighbor. Up into 5th. 5th fastest opossum of tonight. Kiolauwik. I think or hope. Yeah, well, we have a Dillian Chapman fan, I would like to say. Finley Berman, good evening to you. Welcome to our chat box, posting approximately 328 times that he is a Chappers fan. His favorite driver, Chappers 150, Dillian Chapman, still sitting in his garage with 9 minutes left. That is not a problem yet, but he will have to decide whether he will run once or 2 more times for this quali, because lap is very, very long, so you might do a little bit hard if you wait longer and want to run 2 hot laps. Let's have a look. What else is going on? Still without the time is this man, Mikko Caruso, coming towards the end of sector 2. Long left-hander here, and another one in the Alfa Romeo. End of sector 2 right here, 115.0, no comparison yet. And now, just flat out, let's have a look. Yes, he kept his Italian helmet design, even though he is a Swiss man. Italo-Swiss, therefore green, white, red on his helmet. And in the end, he is in 30th, 1.7 seconds behind Jeppe Nielsen. Maybe there was a little bit of an incident somewhere on the hot lap. Maybe he just posted something like a safety time or so. So that means that only Iggy Lai is still timeless. There he is, just starting his hot lap. Just enough time to finish this lap, come back to the pits, and then have another lap. Oop. And G Silky is out. The driver we watched on the very beginning. Correct, Silcock. Oh, and almost the same for Iggy Lai. Heavy slide there on acceleration. Out of, what was it, turn 6, I think. So this lap time will not be a good one. Let's see if he runs it to the end to at least have a hot lap time. Or if he aborts it and then we'll just have one shot left. Coming to towards the end of sector 2 here. 116.5 already, 1.5 seconds slower than Caruso, and Caruso is only 13th. Lewis Ikic and Andrew Mont, not so really good lap times too from those two guys. And Iggy Lai looks like, yes, he does run it to the end. And that will push him from 18th to 17th. So there is another one on a hot lap. Maybe this is already his final shot. Rocknan. at the end of sector 1, improving by around about 2/10. Little bit of slide there out of turn 5. Ooh, and tagging the wall there. He's slow. Yep, he's slow. He gave up on it. There is something to find. He was improving by around about 2/10, so there is still something in for him, but not anymore in this lap. As he aborts this lap time, he will have enough time to come back, mount fresh softs, and go out again. And then he knows, potentially knows, where to find more time. And meanwhile, we see Dillian Chapman improving up into second. Not quite good enough for a pole, just 9,000ths of a tenth. 9,000ths, that's approximately the same length, the same duration of a blink of an eye on 6 kilometers. Just have to consider this, 6 kilometers, the track length, and you are separated by a blink of an eye. Just incredible. So 4 minutes left, and we see already a few drivers who are on hot laps now, and this is very likely the each last hot lap shots for those boys. One of them, maybe let's have a look at Alpha Tauri. This is Mark Goodman. Oh no, it's not Alpha Tauri, this is Alpine. Still need to figure out which blue is which. He is slow, no improvements for him on this lap time. Here is our single Scotsman, Stuart McDonald, coming towards the end of his hot lap. What can he do in the first Russian Haas? From P11 to P3. Wow, Stuart McDonald up in third. Wow, and just while I said that, it was Jeppe Nielsen improving his own pole time by a lot. Jeppe Nielsen improving his lap time by 6/10, giving him, from pole to pole, but giving him a very comfortable cushion on everyone, including our MIS pole king, Peter Simpson. His first hot lap time was not really good. Let's see what he can do here with 3 minutes remaining. This is already his final shot. Even if he aborts this lap, he cannot run again. So pressure on our reigning champion. What does he do? He does a little bit in sector 1, 1.5 tenths. That is, okay, but not good enough. Still needs to find a lot more. Here in the castle section now he is. Always a bit of yellow in and out. It's probably always just drivers going out of the way. Coming towards the end of sector 2 here, almost into the wall with his desired McLaren. End of sector 2. Game doesn't give me a comparison. I have no idea how fast this lap is. We just need to wait and see what will happen at the end of this lap. Simo is jumpy. Simo looks jumpy. He had some internet connection issues already last week. And now Peter Simpson, our pole king, from P9 to P4. This is only P4. Only the second starting row. Maximally second starting row for Peter Simpson. Who else is on hot laps? Who else could attack the front rows? Here we are with Rognan again. Sector 1 improving his lap time by almost 3/10, so even more than in the lap earlier that he aborted. Some slower driver ahead. I hope this will not be some impeding traffic for him. Dillian Chapman still on a hot lap. The next one we jump on as soon as Rockman has delivered the lap time. Dominic Walsh, so too. I don't think that any one of them is in front of Rockman. 3.5 tenths. Rockman's improvement was the fastest lap time, the fastest time in the medium sector. So Rockman probably is racing with a lot more downforce than the others. Where will the clock stop for him in the end? Rockman will start from P2 up into second, pushing Zemo Simpson into the third row. Wow, and he waved goodbye with a bang, Rockman. Next one we look at, this is Dillian Chapman. It's only him or Dominic Walsh who could potentially be dangerous for some front rows. Where will the time stop for Dillian Chapman? And he is third, finished in third, half a second behind Jeppe Nielsen, and the last one of the top drivers, Dominic Walsh. Did not see a comparison. I think he's on a little bit improvement. And in the end, he's fourth. Second row, all Mercedes row. His brother Thomas Walsh still running. What can his older brother do? Rockman finished, Gorilla finished, Nevisekic finished. Hilton Matt finished, disappointing P9 only for Matt Snead. And now Thomas Walsh is 8th, stays 8th. So there's only, I think, this man, Grimmo Goodman, still running. Some improvements for him. He might attack the top 10 here. He might attack Rockstar ahead. Yes, he does. Or he did. He did. Did not see where, but he should be into the top 10. And this is it for our qualifying. Our starting grid is Jeppe Nielsen in the pole, followed by his teammate Jack Rognan. All Red Bull front row, second row, all Mercedes, Dillian Chapman and Dominic Walsh. In fifth, Stuart McDonald. 6th, Peter Simpson. 7th, the Opossum. P8, Thomas Walsh. P9, Mark Goodman. 10th, Matt Snead. 11th, Mikko Caruso. 12th, Asher Ryder. 13th, Blake Gary. 14th, Mike Taylor. 15th is Iggy Lai. 16th, Andrew Mont. 17th, Nevis Ikic. 18th, Greg Silcock. And 19, no time set because he joined a little bit too late, is Diogo, what was his name? Diogo Felipe, exactly. Oh my goodness, and there is some heavy rain, heavy rain. Oof. Not sure if this is still intermediate weather or if this might already be full wets. Our drivers have half a minute of time to decide on the tire situation, and I will be back with you in a moment. So, here we are with full wet tire. Full wet race. Yeah. What should I say? I predict heavy chaos. Almost as many safety car phases as laps we have. This will be interesting. This will definitely be a very long race ahead of us. So I could imagine this race could take us longer, more than an hour maybe. So this will be very hard. Very hard. Gregory Mortier has joined, our chef, FX chef. I think it's just 2 minutes too late. I'm not sure if the CPU allows him to join the starting grid. I don't think so. I think it was just a little bit too late. Sad that you are a little bit late. Hopefully we can see you, can greet you then next week's race. And we have seen that Deppe Nielsen already collided with the wall here in our installation lab. Of course, no damage, but you can have a bit of a glimpse there, or some feeling how damn slippery this will be now. I expect, as I mentioned, tons of safety car phases, tons of crashes, tons of pit stops. Nevertheless, I hope the teams have enough of front wings. So the CPU has taken over, brings our drivers into the starting grid. We have seen a few who already stand there as they tagged some other driver. That means they have to start the race on colder tires, but with full wets that is not such a big topic. And then takes a bit longer than usual. Here we go. Here we go. The 5 red lights of Baku and the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Go, go, go. Start in Baku. There was a McLaren very slow. This could have been Seymour, who had a bad start. Both Red Bulls, good start. Both Mercedes, and there's a Haas going sideways. The first driver who has crashed into the wall there. Turn 2. Oh, and both the Mercedes tag and put one of them into the wall. I think that was Dillian Chapman who collided with the wall. It was Seymour who had a very bad start. The McLaren from P6 to 16. So totally malfunction for our reigning champion there on the rainy start. But beside this slight Mercedes coming together, I think everything went well. Oh, I think, did I see a Alpine with front wing damage? No, at least not Grimo. Surprisingly, no yellow, no safety car, no BSC. Everything went well, rather well. Besides the sideways darting Leonard cam in turn 1. And there's some yellow. There's the first penalty, illegal blocking. Yes, that was a block. He went sideways in the castle section and therefore blocked the field. Definitely. Ooh, more problems for Silcock here, and Ikic through. This was not on purpose from Silcock, of course, but yeah, it was a block. Oh, and there he is, not out, but enduring more problems. Maybe Ikic does have problems too. drive-through penalty, speeding on the VSC. Greg Silcock is trying to dig his way out there. First pit stop from Rognan. Rognan in the pits. Who knows for Rognan? Oh my, what happened there? Such a good quality, good start too. And have a look, there was some big problem because there is Jeppe Nielsen down in 7th or something. Ah no, sorry. Community glitch. Old game, every race, new game, and old problems. Jeppe Nielsen is still the leader, of course, followed by both the Mercedes and Greg Silcock. Calls it a night. Has given up in the pit lane. And there was the opossum. What was his name? Opossum. Keo Lauvik, who had some problems and still has. Bit of acceleration troubles there. He maybe should turn up the differential a bit. And barely tagged the wall there. Behind him, Matt Sneed in striking distance, no DRS of course in the rain. And Walsh and Lauvik simultaneously struggling on acceleration. Here's the tire strategy presented by the Amazon Web Services, but that's not really a strategy. And is there a pit stop ahead? There might be a pit stop ahead. Ash Ryder is out. There is a pit stop ahead. That was Jeppe Nielsen. And now let's have a look if we can see what happened to Ash Ryder. Well, we have a VSC. Penalties incoming. Okay, that's nothing new. I know. Stuart McDonald was too far away to depict to us again what happened to Ash Ryder. It was somewhere here, so he must have spun out and then ran into the barrier. The second Alfa Romeo. So lap 3, and we have the second VSC. At least only VSC, no real safety car yet. And both the Mercedes leading. But what happened to both the Red Bulls? Rognan down to 16th in the pits again. Is this the second Rognan stop? Yes, it is. My goodness. 2 stops for Rognan in 3 laps. My goodness. And almost the same goes for Jeppe Nielsen. Had a pit stop here. 1 already in lap 3. Jeppe Nielsen, who had such a blistering errorless race. Speaking about errors, there's the next one. Matt Sneed was in the wall. Ooh, a big unsafe coming back. This in MIS, you are not ghosted. This is not ghosting when returning to the pits, returning to the track. So most drivers just go back to the track because they're used to, because in every other league you are just ghosted. Not here. This was dangerous. So with a pit stop incoming from Matt Sneed, this is at least one position that Jeppe Nielsen will be given back. Let's have a look what our leaders are doing. Here are both the Mercedes, Dilly and Chapman, leading from Dom Walsh and Iggy Lai. Big gap already between Mercedes and Ferrari, 5.5 seconds. Matt Sneeds. 5 seconds penalty, speeding in the pit lane doesn't make it any easier for him. And have a look, it looks like Dominic Walsh might be faster than Dilly and Chapman, but without DRS he will do very hard to find a way around his teammates. I have no idea about the weather forecast. I have no idea if it is forecasted that the rain will ease to some time, or if we really will have a full wet race, all 26 laps long. So now for lap 1.5 we did not see yellow, and there it is. I wanted to say that the drivers maybe have grooved in a bit, but right when I said it, it was Nevesekic who maybe spun a bit, lost the position to Rognan, lost the position and 6 seconds, so there must have been some problem for Ekic. Or have a look, or have a listen, more or less, how Dom Walsh cautiously moves through these fast-paced turns in the last sector. Yellow in sector 2. VSC. VSC again. And a safety car. And a safety car. Let's scoot through the field. I did not see what it was or who it was. Let's see if or who might come to the pits now. So it took us until lap 5 for the first safety car phase. I still did not see anything or anyone who could potentially have caused a safety car, but okay. Our opossum is out. Kiolauvic has retired in the pits. Maybe it was him. We see a few drivers now who are pitting. Maybe this is for damage. Obviously for damage. Rognan, another new nose. 5 laps, 3 noses. Rockstar did the same, Ekic did the same. And now Jeppe Nielsen in P8, Peter Simpson, reigning champion in P9. After a mediocre qualifying and a really bad start, he is digging himself out of the midfield here. Need to mention that he had a DNF in the season opener, so he must make up some points in this race today in order to not let the pressure get too high on him. What else is important? Blake Gary in 7th, our youngest driver, who is quite a good rain driver. And he shows that to us here today, at least in the early phase. Mike Taylor into the pits. Interesting to pit now. Taylor from blue to blue tire, so must have been a nose change pit stop for him. So it's only the top 6 plus Felipe plus Simpson, who did not have a pit stop yet, who did not need a new nose, and Gary spins right when I mention him. Oh, he will get the position back here from Jeppe Nielsen, yes. Nielsen was needed to give him the position back. That's the rule. Just intrigued now if Gary has a front wing damage or not. It does not look like, at least not on the end plates. Interesting that Gary delivers a good race under green condition and then spins under yellow. But yeah, lucky situation for him that it was under safety car, so not losing a position, not even losing time, because he's allowed to catch up to Tom Walsh here right now. As the field is so much stretched away from each other, there will be at least one more lap of safety car, and I will step aside for a moment and be back with you shortly. So as we saw, Blake Gary did need a pit stop for a Nuno's. Was just not depicted how much and how severe his damage was. So, as the field is still so far stretched out with Andrew Mond and Stuart McDonald limping behind, the CPU gives us another lap of safety car. So what is normally 2 is now 4 already, or will be 4. And this is all in favor of both the Mercedes. They will take it. They will just accept to have 2 additional laps of total control. And now Leonard Cam made it up towards Andrew Mond, and so we should hopefully see a restart at the end of this lap. There finally is the message from race control that Bernd Mailander will return to the pits. First of, approximately, I would think 3 safety car phases for him tonight. And Dillian Chapman is very fast. He is following him. He could or should pace the field in Sector 3, but he's just almost racing as fast as he can. Maybe not the best idea. And now we are back to green. And he is very much under pressure from his teammate there already. This is the view of Dominic Walsh. Not enough to attack, not enough. But in the background, there is a lot of ups and downs. Tom Walsh was ruled third shortly, and this was Leonard Cam, I think. Leonard Cam in the Haas, going sideways there at the exit of turn 2. Here everything is okay still. I think I saw... What did I see? I think it was Leonard Cam. I think it was a Haas that spun. The other Haas is already out. There is Rognan in 14th. Caruso 15th, already far behind. And even further behind is Jogo Felipe. And what else? Peter Simpson lost a position against Mike Taylor, while Blake Gary is up to 8th already. Blake Gary was 12th on the restart. My goodness. Oh, and Simpson has front wing damage. That is not good for Zemo. And Simpson spins. Oh my goodness, big crash. Peter Simpson takes out his teammate and Leonard Cam. Safety car, of course, a safety car. Oh my goodness, Leonard Cam is still running. But without a front wing. Big damage to the Haas. The other McLaren, Andrew Mond, is still running, but damage to his car too. Oy. Bad situation, bad moment there for Peter Simpson. We saw that he had already some damage to his car, and that for some reason was definitely part of making him spin there on the exit of turn 16, I think, 16 or 17. And multiple pit stops, Dominic Walsh, but that was not because of damage, at least not including in this situation we had here. Iki Lai was in, Leonard Cam is in for Nuno's, Caruso is in, I think he was involved too? No, he wasn't, just 2 tires for Caruso. Leonard Cam, Nuno's, Monster, Andrew Mond, Nuno's. So this was, this included 3 drivers, this crash, plus the DNF for Zemo. Oops, what is that? Andrew Mond. Brakes a little bit cold or something. Needed the exit. Whew. So, yeah. I mentioned it a bit earlier, a few laps earlier. Pressure on Simpson. Pressure on Peter Simpson. Race 2 in the books for him and still 0 points on his board. The reigning champion. It gets harder from each track to each track if this 0 holds up a bit longer. While the winner of Interlagos, Jeppe Nielsen, has crawled upwards to P4 already, so he is at least in a potential podium discussion here. Dillian Chapman was on the podium in Interlagos. Racing up from, I think, P11 to P3 in the final stint. So Chapman and Nielsen, those drivers who are then our overall leaders, and Chappers is into the pits here. Not sure what this is about. If you want to stop on a safety car, you should stop in the first safety car lap and not in the second. His teammate did the same. His teammate Dominic Walsh stopped earlier, and have a look. Dom Walsh in 8th, Chapman in 12th. That is the difference if you stop in the first or in the second safety car phase. And Chapman did not stop for a new nose, he just stopped for tires. So there was no immediate need to stop now for him. And all of a sudden, it is Goodman leading. Grimo Goodman. And for the last half of the lap, I will be silent and back with you in a moment. So the lights are off on the red Mercedes safety car. Back to green shortly. Grimo is doing it a lot different than Chapman earlier. Pacing the field here in sector 3, still going sideways, warming up his tires. And now we go, off we go again. Green condition in a blue race. Grimo is not under pressure yet from Tom Walsh. What's happening in the background? Already some yellow. Jeppe Nielsen in third now. Ah yeah, of course, because of the pit stop from Chapman, yep. And Bilton Mats need after the... attack from the Red Bull, attack from Jeppe Nielsen. Oh, but he pulled back. He pulled back, and that was a wise idea, I think. Ikic in the exits. Going straight instead of turning right, and that costed him a lot of positions. Down to 14th, and again, is there a problem? on the Alpha Tauri. Maybe heat the tires, couldn't explain it any different. No damage to his front wing. Well, visually everything looks quite okay beside of this slide here. Yeah. Let's see how this will go on for him. Especially here in these fast turns. He looks very cautious here. But okay, let's focus on the rest of the field. We see Jeppe Nielsen here, rather close to Tom Walsh in the slipstream. No DRS of course, due to the wet weather. But without DRS there will probably not be a way around as long as the older Walsh doesn't commit a mistake and invites him. And there is another group. This is... Oh, Leonard Cam had some troubles there, lost I think 2 positions at once. And now everything looks okay again for the Haas. I wanted to have a look at this midfield battle group here, right here. So Taylor, Rognan, Tom Walsh, Iggy Lai, all of them within 2.5 seconds or so. Oh, and there is, oh, not the attack, my goodness. There is, but there is some trouble. Mike Taylor in troubles. He is slow, and have a look what a gaggle of car he creates with that. Taylor still ahead, but this doesn't look like as if it could hold up longer. And there are multiple drivers just behind him, just waiting for him to commit the final mistake. I think Rognan ran into him there. Let's have a look how this looks like from the vision of Dominic Walsh. Yellow behind us in Sector 2. We have a VSC. And just when it was flashing yellow, Jeppe Nielsen overtook Tom Walsh. I hope this was not illegal. Pit stops, Matt Sneed and Mike Taylor. Mike Taylor into the pits. There was some sort of trouble on his car, definitely. That's why he was so slow. Blake Gary, Mike Taylor pitting. Only those 3. And Ikic does so too. Neves Ikic into the pits as well. So, back to green, right here at the midway mark, and as I say, there is some yellow. Maybe defog it was. Shogo Felipe. Looked like he was crawling out of turn 4 there. Yes, he does not have a front wing. He is entirely front wingless. Therefore, Taylor slips through. Shogo Felipe will return to his pits here right now. Number 63, Russell. George Russell fan. And there is Blake Gary, who slips through. Yes, he did. Oop! He does not have a helmet on anymore. Is this a bug? I don't know. Can this be a bug? Have a look, a driver without a helmet. I haven't ever seen that before. Yeah. Just not sure what I should say about this game. I was so looking forward to this game. First ever PS5 game that I purchased. F1 2020 was the best Formula 1 game in my opinion ever, with some online bugs, yep. But to me it looks like Codemasters just, didn't do anything on this game. Not even updating it. No updates, no changes on tracks, just track errors. Some more errors, especially online. Yeah, not sure how this should go on. There you can see Diogo Felipe in his pits, with his pit crew, and he is not racing with a helmet. He goes on racing helmetless. Respect, Codemasters. And meanwhile, Grimo Goodman is still in the lead, leading the way already for a few laps now. Mike Taylor is out. Mike Taylor is out. Can we see it? Can Nevis Ikic depict it for us? Andrew Mont already checked out a little bit earlier. I'm not sure where Taylor stands. He's too far away. Too far away. Taylor is vanished. That was in the castle section. A few turns ahead of this spot. Oh! And Diogo Felipe, the helmetless driver, is crashing his car right again. Yeah, without a helmet, of course, you cannot see correctly, all the spray in your eyes. And so he has crashed again. Welcome to the pits again. And have a look, all of a sudden it is Jeppe Nielsen back in the lead. I don't know if there was some mistake from Grimo. Let's have a look. But no visible damage on his Alpine car. So it looks like, as we are getting towards the 2/3 mark of the race, it looks like that Jeppe Nielsen is maybe potentially winning again. Jeppe Nielsen, the monster, has a chance to make it 2 out of 2, while our reigning champion has 0 out of 2. 0 points out of 2. But I suppose that every driver will at least stop once more, so I don't think that anyone can go through, at least none of the top 3, with those 13 or 16 laps old wets. Dom Walsh, 654 laps, those boys, Dom Walsh, Iggy Lai, Dylan Chappers, they maybe can go through. And then the question is if there is maybe some advantageous safety cars phase, or at least VSC or anything for any of those drivers, while Diogo Felipe calls it a night. He steps out of his car, he returned to the pits, and just retired. Now he is allowed to put off his helmet. Have a look. Jeppe Nielsen raced away by over 5 seconds within just 2 laps since he overtook Grimo Goodman. who is still on his starting tire. So Goodman and Tom Walsh did not have a pit stop yet, so cannot point it out enough. No pit stops for Goodman and Tom Walsh, while we see Stuart McDonald with 4 stops. Okay, one of them due to the crash of Simo. A few 3 stoppers, Blake Gary, Rogner and Caruso. And all that in a very difficult race. And those 2 boys, Goodman and Tom Walsh, did not stop once. So this is really, really strong result from them. And as we have the menu already opened, this is the overview of penalty seconds, each +5 for Goodman and Gary, the former teammates. Still does not stop. Oh no, not former teammates, they are now teammates, Gary and Grimo. While Blake Gary is chasing Rognan, I think he tagged the wall there maybe. But no... Yeah, there is a pit stop from Blake Gary. Igilai, as we have the manual here, +11, started 15th, is now 4th. Strong tendency for the driver of the day, if he can hold it. So actually, oh, have a look, there is Matt Snead, the first driver who is testing out the waters, what a great pun, on Inters here. I'm not sure if this is really a strategy try or if he just went out of full wets. I don't know, he had 3 stops, so he should have at least 1 or 2 more sets of blue tire. So if he wanted, he could run. And there's it over. There is the experiment finished. Matt Snead spinning at the end of turn 1 and darting into the walls. Pit stop. Grimo Goodman, now finally. Which tires will he opt for? He is on a potential podium course here. 5 seconds penalty, that will cost him. And then blue to blue. No experiments. Blue car, blue tires. And he comes out of the pit lane still in 5th. Could get close with a podium for him because Leon Chapman and Iggy Lai ahead. They will try to go through on their each sets. While Tom Walsh and Jeppe Nielsen, they will stop. They will have to stop. But Nielsen was ahead. He should stay ahead. And Tom Walsh... got to wait and see if Tom Walsh will be ahead of or behind Grimo then once he stops. Behind Grimo in P6, this is Rognan. Had a great quali, good start, then some bad things happened, and now he is digging back into this race. Already up into 6th. Yellow ahead in a spot where no driver is. Not sure what that was about. Matt Snead should return to his pits very soon for a new nose and back to blue tire. I hope he will not give up. I hope he will stay with us because we have only 12 drivers left and there's just one incident. He could gift it a point or two in the end. Easiest points to achieve the whole season potentially. Yellow Rockstar spun Caruso. No front wing left on his car. And just what I mentioned, just what I said. Bilton Matt retired. And now Caruso needs a pit stop. So Matt Snead would have overtaken at least him already. So that means with 11 drivers left, there will be only one driver who will not be given the point. Right now it looks like as if that was Nevis Ekic, as he is 11th and so far away. But this will change soon because Ekic and Caruso will swap positions as soon as Caruso has received the new nose. And then it's just one mistake, one DNF, and everyone will be given points. Yellow in sector 3. Oh, already vanished. Not sure what that was about. And here's our leader, Jeppe Nielsen. Dominant performance again from him. Oh, and Ekic pits too. So no position swap between the real life bodies of Caruso and Ekic. And Dominic Walsh is out! Can you believe it? Dominic Walsh is out in the castle section, there where the track is so narrow. I hope that Leonard Cam can reach the position early enough to depict it for us. Right here, right here. Ooh! Oh my goodness! Oh no, Dominic Walsh blocking the road there. And Leonard Cam doesn't know what to do, doesn't know how to get through. Oh my goodness. Track marshals, please clear the car. Now it's clear and Gary overtook him. Gary overtook Leonard Cam. And maybe the Haas, yes, the Haas is damaged. What a stupid moment, what a stupid situation. And Dominic Walsh is out. Dominic Walsh is out, and that means every driver will be given points. Matt Snead, if you are still with us, or if you rewatch this tomorrow, this could have been your points if you didn't retire. Yeah, and just as expected, Baku plus rain is chaos. And Campbell now turn to the pit. Yes, he does. And then, yeah, he lost so much time. Ekic! My goodness, what are you doing? Yeah, Nevis Ekic is slow, having some troubles there with his car. But I know him, he is smart enough to not just retire, to not just leave. He will be given a point, he just needs to finish, no matter how many laps he's behind. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I wanted to say, it's just vanished. Anyway, here we are. Here we are back with Jeppe Nielsen, dominant performance. He had one moment where I was not sure what that was about when he stopped so early. But he got it back, he got his podium back, not even a podium, it's eventually the victory. I think this is more or less safe to say. With 18 seconds of gap behind to Tom Walsh, he just needs to make it last, just bring it home. Does not have to take any unnecessary risk, even though his his tires are already pretty old. Still, it's just his task to bring it home for the final 4.5 laps. Tom Walsh here in second, chased by this man, Iggy Lai. What an impressive race from him. Almost as impressive as Jeppe Nielsen. Did not have a good quali, but really a strong, great race performance in really difficult circumstances. Dillian Chapman in fourth, he lost a bit. He was on a potential podium until something like halfway through the race. I expected him to win the race, but he committed just this one or two little mistakes, and those were costly. And now he is hoping for at least a podium. And Igilai is not settling for third here. He wants to be second. Better tire, a lot younger tire. In theory, a lot more grip on his full wets. Yellow in sector 1. This is behind. Wasn't Chapman. I think it was Ikic. Left Ikic. So, a race winner is more or less decided. It is the question is now, who will step onto the podium together with Jeppe Nielsen? Tom Walsh just needs to bring it home. Easier said than done, of course, on old wets in these conditions. And the race is getting long. It's almost 10 p.m. in my time, meaning almost 9 p.m. in Britain. So the race is a lot longer than usual. We have still 3 laps to go to a time where we are actually already finished since a few minutes. So this can be a topic too, not only tires, not only weather conditions, but focus, concentration issues, maybe. Yeah, but in normal circumstances, in normal conditions, there is no way around Walsh for Igilai. As long as Tom Walsh doesn't invite him, this should stay right this way. Same goes probably for every position. So here we see Jagger Rognan chasing the former leader, Grimo. But as long as Goodman doesn't throw it away, it should go into his direction. As long as Grimo Goodman doesn't commit a mistake, Rognan should not have a chance to attack, even if he seems faster. And there was a mistake, but this time it was from Rognan. He was a bit too aggressively surfing over the curb there in turn 7. Not sure if that might have inflicted some damage to his Red Bull. At least it gives Grimo a bit of a breathing space, just barely. Oh, Ikic there, tagged to the wall again. And have a look. Other than expected, it happened. Iggy Lai is in second. 1.5 laps remaining. Sadly, I didn't catch it, but Iggy Lai somehow made it past the Aston Martin of Thomas Walsh. Now it doesn't look like as if Walsh could counter it again. One more penalty being added, that is Black Gary, but his gap to Caruso should be big enough that this might not turn to an incident or turn to something of importance. Yeah, and we are in the last lap. Oh, and this is, what is it? Dillian Chapman! Dillian Chapman! I don't know how, but he came close enough to Thomas Walsh to attack him here on the main straight in the last lap. Chapman or Walsh, they tag! Chapman went a little bit sideways, but it was, was it okay? I think it was okay. And now Aston Martin versus Mercedes, the brother and sister team almost, you could say. Does Chapman dare to attack? No. Oh, this will be an intense final lap. I will have to switch over to Jeppe Nielsen as soon as he gets closer to the checkered flag, but this is interesting. Who will be on the podium? Will it either be Tom Walsh, who has 100% podium quote, or will it be Chapman, who will finish 2 out of 2 on the podium in the end? Right now it looks like it would be Walsh again. And for the moment, for a few seconds, we jump to this man. Impressive drive in Brazil. Impressive drive in Azerbaijan. Make it 2 out of 2. 2 races, 2 victories for Red Bull. 2 races for Jeppe Nielsen. Congratulations to this. And in the end, this is the battle now for the podium. Second goes to Iggy Lai. Great race from him after a not so good qualifying. And who will be third? Will it be the Aston Martin of Tom Walsh, or will it be the Mercedes of Dillian Chapman? Chapman on overtake mode, pressing out every last drop of the engine and the battery. This will be a photo finish! Photo finish! And it is Walsh by 19 thousandths. Wow, what an intense battle in the end. Something else for Rognan. Almost 7/10 in the end, his gap to Mark Goodman. 26 laps Thomas Walsh stayed out on his full wets. Can you believe it? Can this be true? This would mean that he did not have a pit stop. Incredible. Thomas Walsh did not have a pit stop. Can you believe it? Is this possible? Iggy Lai racing up by 13 positions. Thomas Walsh at least or even by 5 without a pit stop. I think I've never seen that. I think I have never seen that in a 50% race, that someone went through on one set of attire. Wow. Yeah, congratulations to Thomas Walsh for that achievement. While we are waiting for this man, Nico Caruso, coming home in 8th. I think he was 7th in Brazil, 8th here in Baku. So, yeah, valuable points for him. And we finish on board with the Alfa Romeo after a difficult race, a long race. Driver of the day, yep. Igilai coming from 15th and finishing 2nd. So, 2 out of 2, I mentioned it. 2 races, 2 Jeppe Nielsen victories. And Adrian Newey in the background is smiling. And after a long race, we have made it. And after the podium, this is the final result of Baku. Jeppe Nielsen has won ahead of Igilai, and then Thomas Walsh with 0 stops. Lillian Chapman is 4th, almost just 19 thousandths behind Tom Walsh. In P5, Mark Goodman. 6 is for the returner, Jack Rockland. 7th, Mikko Caruso. 8, Blake Gary, being ranked behind Caruso due to a penalty. Stuart McDonald then in 9th. And the final point goes to Nevis Ikic. The rest of the pack did not finish. That is Dominic Walsh, Matt Snead, Choco Felipe, Mike Taylor, Andrew Mond, Peter Simpson, Kio Loivik, Asher Reuter, and Greg Silcock. So, this was 2nd race of our 3rd season. The Mainstream Racing Series will continue next Wednesday evening, 7:30 p.m. of UK time, 8:30 p.m. Continental. The stream will go online around about 5 minutes earlier. If you want to be notified, just hit the subscribe button and YouTube will shoot you a message once I'm online. I'm Seb Bauer, glad you were with us. I hope you liked it just as much as I did. And yeah, I hope you will be with us next week when we turn to Down Under, the Albert Park in Melbourne, Australia then. Until next Wednesday, have a nice evening, have a nice weekend, stay safe in these times, and keep racing.